Hey everybody, this is Dr. Stephanie Stroud with Cornerstone's Pet Tip of the Week. Tonight I am talking about couch potato to 5K. I know, it sounds crazy, right? So I use that terminology because that's what we as humans do. We get in this idea of where, we've been on a couch potato and we want to get healthy, so we do this couch potato to 5K course, okay? So what does that look like for our pets, okay? It's not uncommon this time of year for me to hear, hey doc, Lucy or Fluffy's really seemed really sore and stiff lately after doing this activity. For example, there was one of my patients came in today that I had the question about her being really stiff after swimming, okay? And this is a dog that loves to swim. Well, over the winter time, she really wasn't very active, and so we're going from a lot of inactivity to all of a sudden kind of this weekend warrior thing where she is swimming for hours and hours and hours, and she loves it, but she's really stiff and sore. So what can we do to help with that? So as much as our pets love to do certain activities like swimming, part of our job as owners is to actually help them make that transition easier. And sometimes that means we have to limit their activity. And so if you have a pet that's been pretty inactive, the way you kind of build them up into that activity is just to start with multiple short sessions. And so, for example, with this dog, I told her maybe try a 20-minute swim session. And even if she wants to stay in there, go ahead and pull her out. And you can try that a couple times a day. But that way they're able to build their endurance up and they're not getting stiff and sore. Because when they're sore, they can actually transition to being very painful. And we want to avoid pain in our pets, okay? Stiffness is one of those signs of pain. Okay, so that's the first tip, is to take it easy and do short, frequent sessions throughout that day as you transition them into that activity. The second tip, which would be more of a preventative measurement, of course, is to keep your pets active all year round. And so I talk about this especially with older patients, and so I'm always getting the question, what kind of exercise is best for older patients that maybe have arthritis? One of the best exercises you can do, even though it sounds very, very simple, is actually just to do leash walking, okay? And when I say leash walking, I mean on a leash, okay? So it does not mean that we let your dog out just wandering around the yard and they go and they do exercise. I do not consider yard time exercise time. So I'm talking about something intentional where you as the owner are taking your dog on a leash and you're walking purposefully for 10 minutes, okay? 2 to 3 times a day. With older arthritic patients, one of the big things we have to fight is the stiffness. And so if we can get those joints moving, we're actually going to help lubricate those joints, which is why oftentimes you'll notice that they're stiff in the morning when they get up, but later in the day they're not as stiff. It's because we've got that joint fluid moving. And so the best exercise for an older patient or those arthritic patients is actually to do short, frequent sessions, okay, because it's very low impact. And so walking on a leash is one of a great way to actually have low impact activity where you're keeping them healthy. Of course, if you're walking them already on a regular basis, then maybe 10 minutes is way too easy for you and your pet. But if you have not done any exercise with your pets at all, then 10 minutes is going to be just the right amount, and increase that time by 5 minutes each week, okay? Again, if you are already really active with your pets on a yearly basis, that may be way too easy for you, and you may need to start with something else. As your pet gets better with that activity or with simply walking, the next step you can do is to walk up and down hills, because that's going to help build muscles in the triceps as you're going down the hills for the dogs. And then as they're going up the hills, that weight is being shifted to the back end, and so they're going to build up their gluteal muscles, their hamstrings, and their quadricep muscles. And so those are all muscles that are really important in helping them extend and sit and everything. Another very basic exercise you can do for these guys, kind of as a cross training, that's one of the things you always hear with exercise routines and programs, is to just simply make your dog sit and then stand right back up. Okay, that is what we call a sit to stand, and it is excellent at building up the muscles in the gluteal and the hamstring muscles. Those are some of the first muscles that I actually see start to decrease and lose muscle mass as patients get older. And so have them sit and then stand on command 10 times in a row, twice a day. Excellent exercise. It's just like us doing squats. So the biggest thing, like I talked about when we're talking about exercise routines and getting started, is to simply start small, multiple frequent sessions, and then get into the habit where you're doing it all year round. Mix up the exercises. Try to teach your pets very low impact exercises such as the sit to stand or the walking. Swimming is an excellent exercise. And that is low impact for older patients as well, but we want to make sure that we are addressing the proper time. Don't want to just send them out there for hours at a time because they're most likely going to get stiff. Think about the way you start an exercise routine. You start slow and you build yourself up. That's exactly what we want to do with our pets too. So if you have questions or comments, please drop them below. I'm always happy to look at those or answer any questions. If you have certain subjects or topics you'd like me to talk about, drop those below too. As always, you can find our remaining videos right here on our Facebook page. You just can scroll back through our posts. You can also find them on our website at cornerstonevet.info. Go to the About section, go to videos, and then go to Pet Tips. We'll have every single one that we've done since last year. Or if you would prefer to follow us on YouTube, you can find them under our YouTube channel, Cornerstone Animal Hospital. All right, I will chat with you guys later next week. Have a good week.